Hello, welcome to the program Agric today on ARCN Television, Abuja, Nigeria. I am Khadija Oluwatoyin. This episode of Agric today brings to you the maiden edition of the new leadership of Natem here in Abuja. Natem just a month ago had an election of its new leadership that brought a new executive, and the executive is meeting for the first time with the BOT and the BOT Board of Trustees. Let's take a quick break. When we return, we'll bring you more details about the meeting. It's the program Agric today. Stay tuned. It's still the program Agric today, and like I said, this episode of the program is going to be to focus on the Natem maiden meeting for the new just elected members of ESCO. We brought to you 2 episodes ago that Natem just had its new executive, and this executive are the ones that are meeting with the Board of Trustees here in Abuja. The meeting, according to the BOT chairman, is aimed at having an interactive session with the new executive and then meeting new members who just joined the Natem group. And then, according to the chairman, he says this is like a familiarization meeting to chant a way forward for the network and know what the new executive has in plan for the meeting. Let's listen to him. Stay tuned.
Important deliberations will be made. Initially, there was only one arm of Natem, that is only Board of Trustees that composed of only 7 members. That was initially chaired by Dr. Mrs. Akande. Then later, after finishing her tenure, she handed over to Professor Justina, who just recently handed over to me as the present chairman based on nomination and election. So you can see now Natem has 2 arms, the Board of Trustees arms as well as the National Executive Council. So that's why I say this is the first time this kind of combining meeting is holding here. And I believe a lot of deliberations will be made on how to move Natem forwards, along with looking at the challenges that militated against the progress of Natem. So once more, I want to seize this opportunity to welcome you along with our guests. Cover that Nigerian youths are shying away from not only engaging in practical agriculture, but also studying agriculture in various institutions. So Natem also look at that. How can the Nigerian youths, how can agriculture be made attractive to Nigerians? Because the way the Nigerians youths view agriculture as an olden days profession, a non-profitable profession, which involved nothing but taking hoe, going to the farm, staying under the sun all throughout, then coming back up to the time one gets older. Agriculture has gone far, far behind that. So that was one of the reasons why the stakeholders came together to form Natem, to make agriculture glamorous and attractive to the youth, attract youth, not necessarily gaining admission into our institutions, but in terms of entrepreneurship, how can they be trained practically on agriculture? The second issue is how can the colleges of agriculture and related discipline be brought together as a single entity with a common goal, so that we will be speaking with one voice. As a saying that many overpower the might, that is sarkin yawa yafi sarkin karfi. Putting head together, when we set a goal and we're having to collectively move to achieve that goal, we will definitely succeed. The third one, how do we source for resources for the colleges of agriculture and related disciplines in terms of sourcing for grants, capacity building, intervention, and so on and so forth for our colleges. So these are basically the mandate of Natem on the platform that Natem was formed to date to where we are today. So as I said, Mike has said it all. He has said briefly the history of Natem and having added a little about the mandate of Natem, even though we faced some challenges from the inception date to date. Initially, the launching was planned. It couldn't hold due to some issues, but so many good things about Natem. Several meetings, several deliberations were made to date. Today, we are here to take more steps further, to deliberate on way forward and then look at our challenges and how to address them. Then the other item in the agenda is blueprint of the National Executive Council. I think this one is not supposed to be presented here. The blueprint of the National Executive Council, as I said, the two arms. The neck has its own arms. So I feel it is the responsibility of the neck to meet, deliberate, and then come out with the blueprints. If there is the need for the two arms to meet and consider the blueprints, then we do it. I remember when several meetings were held, several deliberations were made on launching Natem. But somewhere along the way, the efforts melt down. But I'm happy we are revisiting the issue once more. The two immediate past chairmen can testify me how strongly we try to launch Natem with a lot of bottlenecks and so on and so forth. So I'm happy this issue is here before the BOT and NEC for consideration. So what is the way forward? I think the other time it was proposed that the former Vice President, Professor Osimbanjo, was the launcher. That was the proposal, isn't it? Am I right for BOT members? Yes. A lot of...
It was suggested.
It was suggested, yes.
The newly elected chairman, while thanking members of Natem and Board of Trustees for their nomination and election her into office, says that it is ready to hit the ground running in ensuring that the network grows from where it is to greater heights. Members of Natem, however, talked about ways in which they can make the network grow bigger, and talked about challenges, of course, that have been bedeviling the network since its inception. They also talk about having a maiden visit to some of their pioneer matrons in the person of General Abdulsalam Abubakar. They also talked about meeting the former president of Nigeria, President Olusegun Obasanjo. Let's listen to their discussions.
I want to seize this opportunity to appreciate the Natem body for the privilege given to us to come on board. Like when we were having the virtual meeting, I told members that we are like pathfinders, because I don't think Natem once had the neck. I think this is the first set. So we are like pathfinders, and a lot is expected from us. But we want to really thank the House for giving us this opportunity. Sometimes you may have potentials, you don't even know that they are there, but when the challenges come, the potentials are forced to express themselves. So we thank the House, and we are also believing God that He's going to help us. A lot is expected from us, and we are trusting God that the Lord will help us to deliver. I want to appreciate the BOT members, particularly our seniors that have done a lot of work. Putting this structure on ground is commendable. It's really, really commendable, because I'm just wondering, I'm sure when you started this, you did not know that our nation is going to get to this point where we are now. And so it has really, really come in timely and handy. And like my PRO was saying, that we have to do something fast to key into what the federal government is saying now. Assuming this structure is not there, how do we do that? If it is now that we begin to put the structure in place, it's going to, we can't key in the way we think we'll do that very fast. So I want to commend people that have done a lot of work putting this structure in place, creating this umbrella for colleges of agriculture and related disciplines to come together with this mandate of making agriculture attractive to our youths, and also kind of creating platform for sourcing grants, opportunities, fundings for our colleges. A lot of our colleges are suffering. And so with the little interaction I've had with the ES and with some of our members, we really see that a lot can be done on this platform. A lot that will benefit the colleges, benefit the youths, and actually bring the agricultural sector to the limelight. So we believe God that God is going to help us, and we are still pleased. I know that we are there, always there. We are like, we ourselves, we are baby. Natem is a baby, then the neck itself is a baby. Maybe I should say baby. So we will please continue to lean on our experiences. We will continue to consult us for guidance and for directions, because we, whether we like it or not, we are the custodians of the mandate. We know what prompted us to start this, and so we will always come to you for directions. We always come to you for guidance and for information as the need arises. I believe you will always be there for us. So we solicit your support greatly. And honestly, when the election was done, like Prof said, I was not there. And honestly, when my representative was coming for the meeting, Dr. Anyoleri, she asked me, do you have a candidate? I said, just go and represent the college. I don't have a candidate. Just go and represent the college and do the needful when you get there. But when she now called me and said, you have been elected as the president, I said, where is this coming from? And she was like, I even want to talk on your behalf. They did not allow me to talk. So I called my chairman, and it's like, doctor, you have to take this. So at that point, I surrendered. I surrendered. So, I said you don't have a choice. so that was it. And but when I looked at the team of men and women that we are going to work together. I got the strength and I was encouraged. I believe that we can do it together. Thank you very much.
This meeting by Natem members has a very different face entirely. We've not heard in a while. Winrock was also at this meeting with the Farmers to Farmers coordinator in the person of Mr. Mike Bassi, who attended the meeting with some of their associates from the United States, said the meeting aim cannot come at a better time, as having a new ESCO would help them discuss and know a way forward to some of the issues Natem is facing, and know what this new set of ESCOs are bringing in making a difference. He also advised that so many institutions need to be drawn into the issue, the Natem membership, and he wished the new members well. Let's hear from him.
See each and every one of you. And apart from Dr. Akonde, that I'm just meeting for the first time, I told him I've heard so much about him, and it was a privilege to meet him in person. I think I've met and worked with each and every one of you. It has been very wonderful, beginning from 2015, when we first gathered, Dr. Akonde first gathered us at the Federal Polytechnic at Advert, and after the workshop facilitated by Leslie Casgrove and Professor Igodan, we all took ourselves into one little room and we faced each other and we asked ourselves the question, is this worthwhile? Do we want to do this? And everyone seemed to agree that we needed to have a network like this. Professor Igodan was there. And ever since, we went ahead, registered Natem, and went ahead, also registered Natem with the EFCC, the SCUMO that's under EFCC. It's been wonderful. I know in a short while we have looked at the tree, the leadership tree, and the history, how Professor Dr. Akonde handed over to Professor Ngbada. I think one other arm that we've forgotten to mention is that we have a national networking committee, and the National Networking Committee also have campus-based networking committee. One of the reasons, and I don't want to take so much time talking about this, one of the reasons why we decided to convene this meeting is this. Recently, Natem has established another level of leadership, which is the National Executive Council. So we thought that, look, it is about time that the original founding members of Natem, the 7 core, and we call them the founding members, we call them members of the BOT, that they sit just like we did in Advert, sit and face each other and say, look, this was the original vision. Because you're just coming in, we want you to understand what the original vision was. And we want you to run with that original vision. And of course, Natem launch has been long overdue. We want Natem to be launched. We want the entire world, not just Nigeria, to know about Natem. And we have this opportunity that we're bringing all of you to Abuja as a result of the closeout of the Farmer to Farmer program. And we thought, let's also use this as an opportunity to bring you people into this tiny room. We could have hired a bigger room, but we feel that a smaller room keeps us even more together than a larger room. So please welcome to this session, and our expectation from the Winrock side is that this is not only going to be productive, but it's going to chart the way, it's going to chart a new course for the future of Natem. We have always looked for that opportunity that Winrock will withdraw. The first attempt we made to withdraw was me withdrawing from doing all that I was doing when Natem recruited the executive secretary. And then the next level is where we are today. And even as Winrock is exiting Nigeria, as implementing the Farmer to Farmer program, We trust that Natem will not die. We trust that Natem, the new executive council, will be able to take Natem beyond where it is today, and then to where everyone think Natem should be at this point.
Why agriculture is glamorous. In number and genders, any person who taught language would have been taught that the nouns must agree with the verbs when you are doing conjugation. That's the first principle. Anyway, so we can take agriculture sector by sector and highlight their profitability and also what you need to venture into it. Small things like that, clips. You know, somebody and he goes in Natem journal, and you can go on air and say, if you want to know more about where to go into agriculture, you can go. She told me just while we were coming, they were harvesting how many kilos? 100 kilos or 200 kilos of pepper. You understand? So, whatever it is. And she would have walked out. I was listening to a young man who said if he puts 22, I'm just giving ratio, 22 naira into cultivation of vegetable, he makes 1,000 plus. Imagine. You understand? Such information can be coming from a technical team of Natem in a well-researched journals, backed by empiricists. You understand? Not all these garnish theories. Practically, you can go there and verify. Go to farm number 1 and verify. Go to, like when I was in Iwolo, I was known as one of the people who weren't visiting government house to ask for money. Because I had money. I could grow my fish. You understand? Dry them. Once I dry them, they will compete with the best mangala from the north. You understand? Because I'll package them very well and they will buy it. So I was making money from there, And as a state-owned polytechnic, I was authorized to spend whatever I generated. You understand? So this is what I think could be the bottom line of making agriculture glamorous through information.
On the note, we'll wrap it up on this episode of Agric Today on ARCN Television. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like our YouTube page and, of course, drop your comments, and you can contact us as well on the same page. I am Khadija Oluwatoyin saying thank you for watching.